Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well and you've all had a great day so far. In today's episode of Left is Right, Up is Down, and Common Sense is Hard to Find. Maybe one day we'll discover it again. Who knows? We're all going to gather around the campfire and talk about a few stories going on in the world that, well, make me want to throw my phone into the campfire. Firstly, as you can all see with the title and thumbnail, we're going to be talking about JDhillon Mulvaney because this time he has decided to dress up as Jesus to promote his new musical. Well done you mate, I hope you're proud of yourself. Disney is then set to hire a white actress to star in its latest reboot after dumping the DEI strategy. Finally, in England, it has been revealed that the public sector is spending 70 million smackaroos a year on woke diversity officers, and it doesn't even stop there because also the National Trust has been exposed for putting vegan tampons in male restrooms. Vegans, get me out of here, man. Then finally, we'll be talking about a school in Oregon that staged a walkout after a male identifying as a female walked into the girls' locker room, and the students have said enough is enough. And my brain cells are also saying enough is enough. Now, before we carry on with these stories, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you could, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into it. So, JDhillon Mulvaney has a new show. Well, that is all about him because why wouldn't it be? These people have me syndrome, but this crap, as I'm sure a lot of you know, is titled The Least Problematic Woman in the World. Now, as I said last time when talking about this show, I don't actually know what woman he's referring to because all I see, and I don't know about everybody else, is a gay man prancing around in women's clothing. But nonetheless, you already know this show is going to be about his struggles because these people love to play the victim about consequences they themselves created. Make it make sense. But he released a series of videos previously to promote this show that are probably the cringiest things you'll ever see on social media, and now it has been brought to everybody's attention that he dressed up as Jesus to promote this show. So without further ado, and I know you guys are just on the edge of your seats to see this, let's get into this mockery, shall we? So Ollie London posts on X, JDhillon Mulvaney dresses up as Jesus to promote his new musical about his life after girlhood. Girlhood. Mate, you're a grown man. Hello, it's Jesus here to tell you that you should buy tickets to the least problematic woman in the world. Doesn't sound desperate at all, does it? Now, I imagine he's included Jesus within this musical because he's going to talk about how difficult it is to be a trans person and have a relationship with God, all that stuff. Now, I'm just going to say this, right? If you are looking to find that relationship with God, with Jesus, the very last thing you do is actually dress up as Jesus, which then goes ahead and mocks him. That doesn't sound like somebody who is looking for that relationship. To me, once again, it's just somebody mocking the whole thing, as these people always do.
Oh, it's Jesus, here to tell you that you should buy tickets to the least problematic woman in the world, starring one of my dad's favorites, JDhillon Mulvaney. Trans people are cool, we should all support them. Especially Dylan, because tickets are like under $100 right now, and it's a great deal if you ask me. Okay, we'll catch up later. See you later. Bye. Oh, it's Jesus.
Yeah, we don't need to listen to that again. This dude is just something else. It really is. These people just love to engage in blasphemy, don't they? But let's head over to his TikTok because it's not just one video. Get ready for this. I'm gonna have to mute it because of the copyright. Right, I wish I could unsee that, I really do. I might bleach my eyes after this, but we have another one, and the comment section in this next video isn't too favorable of JDhillon Mulvaney and what he's up to. It's a 47-second video of him, I guess, dressing up as some of the characters that are gonna be in this show, so let's get into it. Again, I'll have to mute it because of the copyright. Yeah. I hope we do have some bleach in the house because I need to use that after this. Straight in the eyes. And there we go. There is JDhillon Mulvaney dressing up as Jesus. But the comments, as I mentioned, not too favorable. Loads of people are saying God will not be mocked. Are you really cosplaying Jesus? Pray for yourself. May God forgive you. God will not be mocked. You know, I just wonder, maybe one day one of these people will dress up as Muhammad or oh no, they won't, will they? But it doesn't stop there, because he's also promoting this constantly, and we have another video that Ollie London posted again, where he says Dylan Mulvaney interviews himself, me syndrome, but he does this as he opens his off-Broadway show, The Least Problematic Woman in the World, about his life living as a girl. Oh, this is so good. That's how liberals cheer this, right? They see this stuff and they go, oh. The rest of the people with common sense, they look at this stuff and they're like, yeah, I think I need to get off this planet, but nonetheless, let's get into it.
Happy opening, Dylan. Thank you so much, Dylan. I'm feeling really good, Dill. I honestly can't believe I got here. I've been working on this show for like 2 years, and I've kind of put every special event and trauma and stupid thing that's ever happened to me into this show. So I can't wait to keep making more shows, but right now...
Society's favorite word these days.
The trauma. And so that's a good feeling. And I can't wait to have a beverage tonight, an alcoholic bet one, because I've been really good and I've been trying not to drink anything to make sure my voice is good, but I'm really excited to have maybe 4 martinis.
We're all going to be drinking off of you in these videos, because that's what it makes you do. And remember, he's been given all these opportunities to create this show, create books, podcasts, the list goes on, all because he started a series called The Days of Girlhood. Remember, he's a grown man creating a series called The Days of Girlhood, and throughout that whole series, he mocks women. Society has rewarded delusion. Imagine going out of your way to even turn up to this show. You already know what sort of people are in that room, but there you have it with our very first story. Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan Mulvaney dressing up as Jesus, creating a mockery of the whole thing, and then interviewing himself for his Broadway show. I imagine nobody wants to waste their time interviewing him. Let's move on. So this next story, ladies and gentlemen, is all about Disney. We haven't spoken about Disney in such a long time, actually, but apparently, and I'll believe it when I see it, they are now getting rid of their DEI casting because of the backlash they have faced in the past with things like The Little Mermaid, Snow White. Boy, what a time that was. Man, oh man, I'm glad we moved past that one, but as you can see, the Daily Mail have reported Disney is set to hire a white actress to star in its latest reboot after dumping DEI amid woke fury. Do you know what's insane? This is a headline. Disney goes ahead and is apparently going to hire a white actress for a white character, and it makes the news. Oh my gosh, they're hiring a white actress? Mate, that's how insane things have gotten. But Disney is reportedly set to ditch its DEI-focused casting and hire a white actress for its latest live-action reboot as the company attempts to end its run of box office bombs. Yeah, with all the films that they have, race-swap characters, they've all flopped. People see the wokeness going on and they don't even want to watch the film. Finally, they've had some common sense. The studio has suffered a string of flops in recent years after recasting previously white characters with actors of color, including Latina actress Rachel Zegler as Snow White earlier this year. Boy. Zegler's outspoken pro-Palestine social media posts also led to criticism of Disney, which suffered a $50 million loss from the movie. Probably more as well. The poor box office showing led Disney to shelve its plans to remake Rapunzel, fearing a woke rebrand of the blonde-haired character could repeat its dismal showing. I can guarantee you, right, if the backlash wasn't as intense with Snow White, they would have race-swapped Rapunzel. You already know it. But now the movie has since been relaunched, fueling speculation over who could be cast to hinge the blockbuster's fortunes on. Industry insider Matthew Baloney revealed that Disney executives told him that the anti-woke shift within the company is now well known. Again, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. Disney is about to cast a new Rapunzel in the revived live-action remake of Tangled, he wrote in his Puck newsletter. I'll bet you the price of that long braided wig that the gig will go to a white actress. As it should. Nobody wants to see Shaniqua, Leticia, LaQuisha, what's a Mexican name? I don't know. Dora the Explorer, a Chinese woman. They want to see a white character or white woman play Rapunzel. Right, it shouldn't be so hard, should it? It shouldn't really be so hard. But these people, they make a mountain out of a molehill. They really do. Imagine it's even reached the point where it's a debate, right? They're in their headquarters and they're going, you know what, guys? I think it's time we really do start casting white people as white characters. Oh, you gotta be taking the piss, mate. I mean, it's good that they're doing this, but it shouldn't have even reached that point in the first place. They shouldn't be sat there going, it's time to start doing the thing that we should have been doing beforehand. Idiots. The Rapunzel movie remained in limbo over the summer, but was revived after the success of Disney's Lilo and Stitch remake. I haven't seen that film. Have you seen that film? Apparently it's decent, which made over $1 billion worldwide. Following the election of Donald Trump and his anti-DEI crackdown, Disney joined a number of major studios who scaled back or eradicated their DEI departments. I am so grateful America elected this man instead of Kamala Harris, because the DEI departments would have gone through the roof. Mulvaney reported that Disney staff has told him the company's top HR executive, Sonia Coleman, sent a company-wide email last week informing workers that DEI was no more. Imagine the meltdown the workers get when they get that email, because you already know they use pronouns that we don't even know about. They see that in their inbox. The meltdown comes about, oh no, they're getting rid of DEI, what are we going to do? Coleman said that the Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Department was now rebranded as Opportunity and Inclusion. What? Which was to empower all through access, opportunity, and a culture of belonging. So they've just rebranded it. Yeah, I'll believe they're ditching DEI when I see it, man. But apparently Disney is far from alone in ditching DEI, with Paramount and Warner Bros. Discovery also publicly announcing that they were ending all DEI initiatives. You know, again, if this is true and they go ahead and do this, it's a good move. But even with the films that they, race swap the characters in, the films are crap anyway. Like, let's be honest, you could have put a white woman in Rachel Zegler's place with Snow White, and the film was still garbage. The film was still crap. I watched it because I was going to review it, but then I thought to myself, everybody is reviewing it, I'm just going to repeat what everybody else is saying. But it was just so boring. So boring. It's not only the race swapping that they need to get rid of, it's also the stories that they need to improve. They need to uplift the original story. They also need to get rid of all the other woke agendas that are in the films, because within Snow White, it was pro-feminism and all that stuff. Nobody wants to see the girl boss, all that stuff. That's done with, right? So they need to do a lot. It's not just hiring white people for white characters. There is a lot more than just that. So Disney have a lot of work to do. Do we trust them to go ahead and make an actual good movie these days? No. Their track record speaks for itself. But there is our second story, ladies and gentlemen. Disney, again, apparently, is set to hire a white actress to star in its latest reboot after getting rid of the DEI casting because of all the backlash. As I've said constantly, I'll believe it when I see it, man. But our next story, oh, wow. It's a great time in the UK, it really is. The Daily Mail again have reported, and talking about DEI, £70 million. That's how much I pay every year for the ballooning army of diversity officers in our shroud-waving NHS, police, and town halls. Britain's public sector is splurging £70 million a year on woke diversity officers as frontline services are stretched to breaking point in investigation by the Mail on Sunday shows, an audit of quality, diversity and inclusion, EDI. So we call it EDI. Mate, sounds closer to STI. I mean, it is a disease, isn't it? Spending across the NHS, the police and the councils have laid bare the extraordinary amount of taxpayer cash being spent on the controversial roles. Last night, critics demanded public sector bosses stop wasting money and prioritise fighting crime and cutting hospital waiting lists. Wow! What a great idea! People act like coming out with these ideas is just so groundbreaking. It's common sense. But let's get into what these people have found. Can't wait for this one. Our shocking audit of the public sector's diversity gravy train found the NHS spends £40 million on EDI jobs each year, despite millions of patients languishing on spiralling waiting lists. £40 million well spent. Health bosses earmarked £1.8 million for staff events, including talks entitled... Oh no. I've just seen what this says. Embracing Asexuality, an International Pronouns Day. We are spending £1.8 million, close to £2 million, on staff events, all about embracing asexuality and International Pronouns Day. Mate. Oh boy, we are cooked, aren't we? Recent NHS jobs have included a pro rata 122,000 diversity role, enough to pay for up to 3 new junior doctors. Why are we wasting money on diversity roles? Get that crap out. You could have hired, with this job, 3 new junior doctors, but all these people care about is, oh, diversity, oh. I'm tired of doing the impressions of these people, but they sound like that, trust me. One police force spent £1.2 million on diversity roles and related training, despite its chief constable recently complaining about budgets. Mate, what? You're complaining about budgets, yet you're spending £1.2 million on what? Diversity roles and related training. The successful candidate for head of diversity at Newham Council in London, which had a salary of almost £72,000, describes her interests as black women's issues. What it means, screaming and shouting everywhere, the politics of beauty and desirability, and the intersection of race, gender, and fat phobia. Fat phobia. Oh, boy. If there's any billionaires watching this video, right, and you're looking to do a Mars trip, I'm the guy that will volunteer. You know what? You don't even have to pay me. Just put me on the ship and I will go. Front row seat. The same council has just imposed a 9% rise in council tax, promising the money would be used protecting essential services. Oh, really? Supporting the most vulnerable and delivering real improvements to residents' lives. Yeah, alright, mate. The year before it went bankrupt, Labour-run Birmingham City Council, hired an assistant director community services and equality, diversity and inclusion on over £100,000. You could have spent that £100,000 on actually improving Birmingham in some way, because it's almost a third world country at this point. Joanna Marchong, investigations campaign manager of the Taxpayers Alliance, said spending on EDI roles persist when they deliver little tangible benefits. Could have all seen that one coming. And to close out this story, right, because reading out what they're spending millions of pounds on is just frustrating. A recent advert for head of EDI at Gloucestershire Teaching Hospitals NHS Foundation Trust, which pays up to nearly £70,000 a year, required a broad and deep understanding of barriers to change, prejudices, and unconscious bias. Oh, mate, get me off this planet now. You know what? Get me out of this country now. Separate figures revealed by the Mail this year found that the NHS budgeted for trusts to spend more than £1.8 million on staff networks, usually linked to race, sexuality, gender, disability, or religion. I'm starting to get a disability reading this stuff out. Between 2022 and 2024, the more than 1,000 events run by these networks in that period included embracing asexuality at the Princess Alexandra Hospital NHS Trust in Essex, and a talk on embracing your afro/curly hair. But it's always nice to know what our money's being spent on, right? Clearly improving the country. You know, embracing your afro curly hair is solving the issues that we're facing. But it doesn't get any better. Oh, no. Why would it get any better? The Telegraph have revealed the National Trust. I don't even want to read this headline out because I'm going to get more of a disability, but apparently has put vegan tampons in men's toilets. Now, I don't know why these are in men's toilets at all. Somebody tell me, what are we doing? The National Trust has been criticised, rightly so, for dispensing vegan tampons in men's lavatories. The charity is providing the sanitary products in the men's toilets at, I don't even know how to pronounce that, but at a castle near Lake Windermere in the Lake District. A box fixed to the wall with the wording, "Got a period situation going on? We got you." Men, you got a period situation you didn't know about? Well, they've got you. They offer free tampons. Nearby is a disposal bin featuring a male icon. What? One 79-year-old visitor to the stately home said, entering the male-only designated toilet, I was confused. Pads and tampons were provided. Oh, it's a South Park episode. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a nightmare we're all in. One day we're going to wake up, right? And it's going to be like 15 years in the past. It's a indication of what's going to happen if we don't get our act together. That's what I'm hoping. Please. Because this is just out of control. There was a female-only toilet nearby, and both male and female facilities were clearly marked with a male figure and a female figure, not unisex facilities. As a man, I appreciate the prostate bins in the men's toilets and pads for men, but having gone and used the urinal, I then turned around and I was facing a green bin saying something like, "Are you having period problems?" Oh yeah, every dude wants to look at that whilst they're using the urinal, right? Went outside and put my head outside the door. I wanted to check if I'd used the wrong toilet. Yeah, you're going to be in there, right? I mean, I don't know why a urinal would be in the women's toilets. Who knows? But imagine going into the men's toilets, right? And you're there like, am I even in the right place? I was confused, and it led to a great deal of discussion with my wife and friends as to why tampons and pads were put into the gents. I think it needs explaining as to what this policy means. You know, that was the #1 issue for men when it comes to toilets. I'm exposing the secret now. I'm sorry, cat's out the bag. You know, we don't care about the toilets actually working, you know, how clean they are, all that stuff. No. We were desperately hoping that one day people would put vegan tampons in our toilets, because boy, we go home and we're like, oh man, it's just really distressing. I can't find a vegan tampon anywhere in a men's toilet. Oh boy. But moving on to our next story, and I appreciate if you guys are still here. We have gone through a lot in this video, but Libs of TikTok goes on to post on X. Breaking. Students at Roseburg High School in Oregon staged a walkout after a male student invaded the female locker room. I can't believe this is still going on. Students claim that the school is threatening them with suspension or cancelling homeschooling in retaliation for speaking out against the trans bathroom policy. Insane. Now, if they are doing that, it is because simply they want people complying with this nonsense. Whenever you face a consequence for speaking out against this woke agenda in any capacity, it's because they want to try and silence you and force you to go along with what they want, you know, everybody to believe in. They want to force people to accept that boys can go into girls' locker rooms just because they identify as a girl. It is complete insanity. It really is. You know, I really do hope we can move away from this forced compliance that a lot of organizations, establishments like to enforce, because it's completely backwards. But the final line says, keep boys out of girls' private spaces. 20 years ago, we wouldn't even be discussing this, but here we are in 2025, where schools are still allowing this to happen. Let's get into this video. So you can see the students there, I believe, staging the walkout.
Yeah? We're not against the trans rights. We just want to create a safe environment for all of us. And when people come in like that, without us as students having an opinion on it, it creates a dangerous place for us, because there's nobody in those bathrooms making sure we're going to be safe. So instead of talking to us, they just decided this is what's going to be acceptable for us and push us on us. And that's why we're out here doing this.
Have you experienced that personally in the locker room, or?
Not personally, but I know people that have. And I just want to prevent that from happening to other people. When we could maybe petition for a unisex bathroom, another one.
Right.
That makes it a safer place for them, a safer place for us.
Do you know if they're still letting boys into the girls' locker room like today?
I'm not quite sure, but in case they are, we want to prevent that so we're all being safe.
Yeah.
It's not against the trans people, it's against us not getting an opinion on it.
So do you feel like there can be retaliation for you guys speaking up?
Oh yeah, they threatened to cancel our homecoming and a very important school events that are important to us.
Really?
The community of the school.
So how do you...
And they tried to hand out detention slips from what I've heard.
I mean, well done to these students for doing this. It takes a lot of courage. For all of them to come together and say, look, we're not doing this anymore, we're going to protest against this.
Staff and the principals, like, watching over what you might be planning as far as these events go?
Yeah, they're trying to push us down because I mean, that's our right. It's our right to have freedom and and the facilities that we use for students and children.
So how do you feel like adults, you think you're supported by adults well in this?
I feel like some adults are supporting, but they're not allowed to express their opinion without getting fired.
Yeah.
And that's the reality.
Whether it's parents or school.
Yeah, they did send out an email from the parents. from the school to the parents, basically saying we have to stand by these people and give them the rights.
Exactly. Everybody needs to say no to this stuff.
Right. So do you feel like you're being heard?
Not really.
Not by the school or?
No. I just want to.
So I heard that the private bathrooms are locked, correct?
Yes.
And so if you want to feel safe, how far out of the way are those bathrooms from where you'd normally be going?
It's up in the
You have to go to another building?
Yeah, they need to make them more accessible.
So you have to go to another building and find somebody to unlock them.
Yep.
That's crazy. This is what happens when society just, hey, love to see that, the US flag, USA. This is what happens when society just caters to the 1%, a dude's feelings, right? Everybody has to maneuver, walk on eggshell, all that stuff. You affect everybody else
Just a woman?
just because of one person and how they feel. The younger generation, they're waking up, a lot of them are. I don't know in what universe the school thinks this is okay. If the girls want to get changed somewhere else, they have to go to a separate building and ask someone else to unlock that for. Shut the front door, man. Again, this is all happening because of the 1%. Oh, it's all about how I feel and everybody must cater towards me. It's an absolute disgrace, and well done to the students for staging this walkout. People need to push back against this. When it happens, you can't allow this to go on. The school would care about girls' safety, would they not? Now, this is not saying that something bad could happen to them if a male identifying as a girl went in there, but why even have that risk? Why even put that risk out there? So when they stand there and go, oh yeah, we care about the safety and the rights of the girls in the school. No, you effing don't. No, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't allow dudes going into the female locker room. Plain and simple. So whenever I hear anybody saying that stuff, oh yeah, we care about the safety of women and girls, but we're going to allow dudes to identify as female to go in the spaces, they're plain and simple. But that is the end of the video, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you've got to applaud these students because they're also being faced with retaliation from the school. You know, apparently with suspensions and cancelling homeschooling just because they're opposing the trans bathroom policy. Is this how much they care about this issue? Oh, we have to allow these dudes in there. What an absolute disgrace. Well done to these students, man. Standing up for what's right. You'd love to see it. Leave your thoughts down below, ladies and gentlemen, on all the stories that we've covered today. I'd like to know your thoughts. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. Share this video. But until next time, it has been your host, JD. Have a great day. Stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.